So I just interviewed one of our students, Scott, who literally went from $0 or, his videos getting 50 to 100 views to making $5,000 a month just a month later. And in this video, we kind of spoke over the whole journey and everything, like what the most important key factors were for him to actually get to that level. So make sure to watch this whole video because this is going to be extremely valuable. Now, if you are interested in working one-on-one with me, check out the first link in the video description. Book your call with me. We'll just have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. If it does, we'll scale up your channel as well. And now enjoy the interview. All right, so we're here with one of our students, Scott, who is absolutely crushing it now. On his way to the first, I think like $10,000 a month. Most probably, maybe this month, hopefully. So yeah, how are you doing, man?
Very good. Thanks so much, Steffen. Honestly, it's been a wild ride to get here. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm on the trajectory to be making a good amount of money per month right off my second channel here. So really happy that it works. In the end of the day, that's what you want to see, right? You want to make sure that it works, because you have so much self-doubt initially in the beginning. You have no clue if it's going to work at all. It's a whole new world. And when you start seeing those views climb, and then especially when you get monetized, that's huge. And then when you start seeing the dollar amounts pop up, you're like, oh, it's really working.
Yeah, 100%. We'll cover a bit more about that a bit later, like, as an example, how skeptic you were, because I know a lot of people are very skeptic of, making money online and especially doing YouTube in a faceless way. But before that, I always do this in the beginning of the call because everyone is always curious. How much money are you currently making with YouTube? I know the channel you started is still pretty new. It's like 1 month now. It's your second channel that we started together. How long did it actually take? The first one took 5 months. No, not 5 months. 5 weeks to get monetized, right? And this one, how long did this one take? Because I think you said it was a little bit faster.
Yeah, the first one was 5 weeks, like almost to like the day that I applied for YouTube Partner, and I was able to get monetized. This one, I think I got it. I was able to apply in 4 weeks, but it took an extra week to get that application through. And so when it finally did click on, it was 5 weeks, and that's literally just 1 week ago from today.
Yeah,
But wild to see that even in 1 week, looking back at the amount of dollars I've made just from this second channel in 1 week, it's over $1,500. And so about, a little more than $200 a day, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane how quickly it can go. One false belief that many people have is once they monetize, they start making money. And if we look at, for example, the first channel we started, that channel, it got monetized in 5 weeks or something. But on the first day on this new channel, you made more money with the new channel than with the last one, right? So monetization is cool, and it's a huge metric that many people want to hit because they believe that, like, once I'm monetized, I'll make thousands of dollars with YouTube. And that's why you see people buying subscribers, doing all of these things, but usually comes down to, actually still getting views. And that's, I think, what, you did very well on the current channel you're doing. Let's maybe, if you are open to, let's look at the channel. Can just share your screen if you want to.
Yeah.
You can just maybe look at what you did. Obviously we can't show too much, unfortunately, but yeah, so the strategy in the beginning was actually very simple. What you did, and this was very, very smart again, is you tested a bunch of different things, or maybe you speak about what specifically you did, and then something hit. Obviously don't mention exactly what exact videos you're posting. Want to keep that a secret for now.
Yeah. It was really about building from the first channel and learning from my mistakes. And when I say mistakes, I mean, while the first channel did get monetized, I was not consistent. That was a big thing here, is really staying consistent with it, trusting the process, understanding that, there's a goal to hit. I wanted to be able to put like 10, 15 videos out before seeing anything, before moving away from it and giving up and then starting a new channel. The first channel I had, I think I got lucky on one video. Out of putting out these videos, one video really hit and kind of took off and brought up all the other videos a little bit slightly. But really, in the end of the day, it was one video that helped me get over that hump to be able to be monetized, hitting those 4,000 watch hours, hitting the 1,000 subscribers. One video really took off, and I was not consistent with posting. Initially, it took me a long time to get the first video out. Honestly, I think it took me 5 weeks to get that first video out, and that killed me because it kills the momentum, but you got to be able to build up your team around you. You realize you can't do it all yourself. And understanding that really is freeing, being able to build a team around you. That's what I think I did great in my second channel, is that I already had a team built that I've already worked with before. I had like trust with the editors, and I understood better what to do with thumbnails. I know, Stephanie, you always talk about how YouTube is the opposite, don't judge a book by its cover kind of situation. But on YouTube, yes, absolutely, judge a book by its cover. Like, you got to have great looking thumbnails and good title strategy. And that's the first thing people see is the thumbnails, the title, and making sure you're in a good niche, that you've done the research, you've figured out the data, you're following data here, and you want to make sure that you've got good surrounding information that you can trust.
100%.
At the end of the day, you're going to go in this blindly.
Yeah.
You are going to go in this blindly. You're going to be trying a bunch of different things, throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks. And that's the key, honestly, is going in and knowing that not everything's going to hit.
100%. And I think that's, as you said, like something very special that you did is in the beginning, like, the first, how many videos, 8 videos or something, didn't really pop off that much. But what you did is you tested specific different video ideas, like video styles, when it comes to kind of comparing two things. Then you had very different thumbnail styles, and then we had one topic that worked. And I think the biggest game changer was then to literally just double down on whatever is working. And I think this is something that many people don't do. And I see it, like I said, I see it with a lot of people that think like, hey, I can't do that video twice because people won't look at it anymore. The cool thing with what you're doing now is you can do it as many times as you want to, because you can. There are a lot of different kind of, how do you call it? A lot of different topics in the same kind of video idea, I don't know if it makes sense, but that's obviously quite cool and not something you get very often. So it's just awesome. It's something you can double down over and over and over again. But yeah, let's have a look at your channel, because I think everyone is always curious for these kind of things. As always, everyone's just wanting to see how much money are the people making.
What I was saying before, this is, if you just see the little dots at the bottom of how much I post, the way that I post here is I was staying consistent 4 times a week. And every, I came up with a posting, like I started Wednesday, posted another one Thursday, took a day off, and then posted again on Saturday, took another day off, posted again on Monday, another day off, and then 2 again, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Like we were saying before in the beginning, you don't want to make it seem like it's so regimented where I'm posting at the same exact time every day kind of thing. I switch it up once in a while. And 4 seemed like it was doable for me for the production wise of getting all of that done. And so at first, I just kind of stayed about 1 week ahead. I made about 4 videos and I stayed 1 week ahead and I kind of produced as I went, just in case. You never know what happens. Sometimes the editors get sick. Sometimes, you can't be able to review stuff as soon as you can. I always try to review within 24 hours of a video coming to me so I can get those notes back really quickly. So really consistency was key this time.
Yeah.
And, looking at, let's say, even the lifetime views, when I'm looking at this and you look at this graph, I posted and I saw nothing.
Yeah.
I saw nothing.
But something
so
I see, sorry for interrupting. Something I see is that YouTube is taking way longer. Not sure if you saw that. Like I've seen it between like all of the students that YouTube is just taking its time these days. It's not pushing. You can't expect in most cases to get pushed out from one video anymore. Most cases that doesn't happen anymore.
So that's why I wanted to know in my mind, I need to make 10, 15 videos to give this a real shot before kind of saying, hey, throw the towel. Maybe I'll leave it for a month or two and come back to it and see what happens. But I was very fortunate where as I was posting one of the videos, and I can go to it, one of the videos 5 days previously that I posted that wasn't moving at all started taking off. I mean, that's when it started, like right here, I started taking off and I was like, whoa. I looked back at it at dinner one night and I was like, whoa, I have like over 1,000 views on this video. And before that I had 200 views total in the entire channel. And one video just overnight kind of bloop, popped up and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so if I look back at the content here and go down, most of this will be blurred, but if you just look at the view count on the side here, these are the first videos I posted. Right now I have 24 videos out, but literally it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, 10 videos I was posting and only one of them you can kind of see got a lot of views.
Yeah.
And that was a different format, same topic. These are all in the same topic, but a different kind of format, and I was trying all different formats. Every single one was just throwing spaghetti at the wall. Now, I wasn't just creating these out of the blue. These were all based on very popular videos doing well on other people's channels. So I had some inkling that there was a possibility of organic growth on each one of these. And that's why I tested it. But honestly, the first, 3 weeks, really 3 weeks, I had 200 views total on the entire channel.
Yeah.
And then one video right here just popped up a little bit. And I was still posting other videos, and you could see the view count went right back down. I mean, these ones literally were in the tens, only dozens of views maybe. But after 5 days, it went back. That one popped off, and I was like, ooh, I gotta remember what Steffen said. Double down. So I went back to that video, and I was like, I gotta make another one of those. Yeah. And sure enough, that one did really well. I was like, ooh, okay. Now, the funny thing is that, like I said before in the beginning, I was posting about 1 week out, right? I was making all these videos, but I had 4 in the bag before I could post, I was going back. So then when one popped off that was behind, I was like, oh my God, I can't post these next 4 that I have because they weren't in that same format.
Yeah, that's why it's so
So
important in the beginning. Maybe you just want to set it, but to not cruise too far ahead, even if it feels very smart, but you don't know what's actually gonna work. And then it's like a waste of videos almost. Obviously, you can post them later on, but you don't want to destroy that momentum that's going through your channel.
I think
Uh,
that's I think that's really accurate. Yeah. Um, I think in the beginning that did help me, being able to post, have stuff in the bag initially to be able to keep going because, like you were saying before, it might take a while to get monetized to see any movement with views.
no,
So I think in the beginning it actually kind of helped me, like ease of mind. Um, that's when I saw my first channel. Honestly, the first
yeah,
channel, I I was just posting as soon as I had it produced, I posted it, and I was right on my heels the entire time.
yeah,
It felt hard to do, um, but here, 1 week out, not so bad. Worst case scenario, I do throw those 4 videos out, but trusting the process, knowing that I'll make that money back later on.
100%.
So I wasn't super, unhappy with that. It sucks to have videos that I'm never going to post. That's okay. Um, but being able to pivot quickly, and see that views and then act on it and double down is huge. So
Mhm.
you have to have that pipeline set up where you can produce a few videos really quickly to turn it all around. Um, and that's just a testament to creating your own team,
Mhm.
having trust in those editors, being able to write very quickly, to make voiceovers very quickly. Um, it all helps in the end of the day. Um,
100%.
and
100%.
it's
Your
it's
most
just so funny.
your most viral video has 100,000 views, correct? Like that's the most viral video you have until now, correct? And that's
Correct. Yeah,
awesome.
it just passed this weekend. It just passed 100,000 views.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess that's kind of small, honestly, in the end of the day, because a lot of the videos that I was comparing my channel to initially in the beginning all had way more than that. And
Yeah.
so it's pretty wild to think that I'm able to earn almost $250 a day. And this is just hitting over 100,000 views now.
Yeah, no man, that's cool. I think like the plan was now obviously to kind of post a little bit more than before. And I think if you go to analytics and just show, because obviously you always have to double show this because there's so many people that are skeptic about, hey, how much money is this channel actually making on a day? So you go to estimated revenue and just scroll over that. Now, something I want to say for that is as we discussed, I think we can easily go to, 10K a month with this channel, 10, 15, maybe even 20K. If we do like $500 a day, just by kind of doubling the amount of videos we're posting. So that's gonna be very, very interesting to see how that develops. But yeah, awesome. Thanks for showing the channel. I think most people believe that's all real. Now, let's take a step back, or back to like during your whole journey, when we, before we even started working together. How did you first come across, like, or did you even know about faceless YouTube channels? Were you even aware that there is something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of YouTube and they think of talking directly to the camera, being your own kind of influencer, vlogger. Um, Casey Neistat is always one that people think of, like, okay, I have to have a giant film camera in front of my face and walk around town. And no, apparently not. uh,
Yeah.
it's very cool. Previous to this, I was making cartoons as my day-to-day job, and I was always working for somebody else, making somebody else's content because animation takes a village to make. Um, it's a lot of resources. There's a lot of assets. It's a lot of time. Uh, and I obviously have so many different animation ideas for YouTube, And in the past, I have made my own cartoons. It takes a long time. And so, what I think was amazing about hearing your program, Stefan, was that how quick you were able to produce content. And that gave me, that planted a seed in my mind going, oh, okay, it's possible. I need to rethink what I was doing. All of my skill set was exactly the same skill set, all transferable. I'm making content. We're all from our own homes here, working with teams all across the world. But the best thing about this was to to reframe my thinking, saying, hey, it doesn't need to take weeks or months to make one video. It could possibly take a day or a few hours.
No.
And there's a wide range of content out there on YouTube. And honestly, some of the stuff that you end up seeing, once I started seeing successful channels, sometimes that content is way more simple than you'd ever think. And that kind of blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first channel that I started, I had a more complex idea of what I wanted to put together. Because of that, the videos took longer. I was a little more perfectionist. I know
Yep.
you always said just put it out there. It doesn't need to be perfect, kind of thing. And I had to let that go and do less. But I had to make it faster. Otherwise, it wouldn't work, honestly. And you just have to put it out there, see what happens. I started doing that. The second channel, my videos were shorter, less complex. And look at this. It worked.
Yeah. So this would kind of bring me to the next question, because you kind of just explained like, hey, my challenges were like, hey, being too perfectionistic with this whole thing, maybe being a little bit too slow. What would you say was the biggest turning point for you? Like, what was the specific or when was the specific moment that it kind of clicked for you? And you were like, hey, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what works, and you kind of got there where you are at now. Or was there like a specific moment where it kind of clicked? Yeah.
I know in our teachings, when in the first few sessions that we all had, you always mention that when you are finding a niche, finding a topic, and looking at successful channels to emulate, you always got to make it, 2 to 3 minutes longer than somebody else's. So, initially I was making sure my videos were a lot longer than my competitors. And I did see success, but I got monetized, and then for this is the first channel, and I don't mind talking kind of about the topic on that one. That one was like World War II, like war about airplanes, and I got monetized, and then just the views went down, and it didn't pop off, and it was a multiple different possible reasons for that. Consistency. I didn't have the right team. I was testing a lot of editors, so the quality was all over the place. But once I started constantly doing research, that's the other thing too. I didn't ever stop doing, this niche research. I saw other channels pop up in that same space that were doing a lot less. They were just having literally like a still image for like 3-4 minutes and just talking about the airplanes. And I was blown away. I was like, wait, this channel is blowing up. And they were using like 12 images, where I was producing 25, 30-minute documentaries with archival footage and like making sure every model of the airplane was consistent, right? And like it took a long time. But then I just saw these other channels that were so simple. And I was like, whoa, I'm doing something wrong here.
I think
that was the moment where I was like, oh, okay, I need to pare this down.
You're the second person saying this. So I did two interview calls today. So with you and Isabel said exactly the same thing. So many people, and this is also a big thing that many people get wrong when they look at YouTube, is they think they have to create insane quality production videos. But all it really comes down is like, hey, is there space or something you can fill the market with, right? Is there a gap? Firstly, and then secondly, how good is the video idea? Because I always say, like, no matter how good your video is, if your idea is bad, your video is not going to get any views, right? And that's like the biggest thing. That's where you also will see, for example, me not really doing the most insane quality videos, because you can just keep it simple. Then the editors understand that you have way less stress with the editors because they understand everything pretty well. So yeah, that's interesting to know. All right, this brings me actually to the next question, which is where do you see yourself in the next 6 months from now? Because now we obviously have something working. The plan for us now is very simple. So we have something that's working. Why test in a bunch of different kind of niches? Why not just stay in the niche that is currently working very well and double down with more channels in different kind of sub niches? So where do you see yourself in the next, let's say 6 months? What's your goal?
Yeah. My goal this whole time was always to get to even just 5,000 a month. Really, my first goal was just to see if I can get $5,000 a month off multiple different channels. It seems like this channel, the second channel, if I can stay with $200 a day, times 30, that's $6,000 a month. So right there, I am projected to hit this $5,000 a month on the second channel. Yeah. Amazing, honestly, unreal. So my next goal here is to get to $10,000 a month, and whether that's with two channels, whether that's doubling down on this one and increasing the cadence of publishing from 4 videos a week to 6 videos a week, or creating a new channel in the same niche, and really just expanding the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with this yet, but the 6-month plan is to have a bigger editorial staff, have more consistent thumbnails all the time. I mean, always looking out for them, is essentially research, doing a lot more research. I feel like these first 2 channels, I do some research in the beginning. I really figure out where I want to go. I just click, I just say, okay, I got to stop doing research and I got to start producing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get in a good rhythm with everybody to be able to produce 4 to 6 videos consistently. Once I hit that consistency, I'm going to go back to more research and then do it all over again. Just research production, build out that team and stay more consistent with it. Have multiple layers of editors. So I'm not relying on just one team or just 2 people, that I could really spread it out and diversify. That's what I'm really trying to do now, is diversify. So the fact that I saw some success with the first channel is amazing. The fact that I saw success with the second channel and then see those dollars come in, even better. So I could only hope that in 6 months I have 6 channels going, each bringing in $5,000.
Yeah, let's go.
And I won't have to go to this 9-to-5 job.
100%. Yeah, let's see. Maybe we can, or what means maybe, I'm pretty sure if we stay consistent with what you're doing at the moment, doubling down, starting more channels, you should be free from that in the next 6 months. So that would be awesome. Now, for like everyone who might be watching and be in the same place where you started a few months ago, what advice would you give them? What should they like mainly focus on? Like, do you have any advice for anyone who's maybe just getting started?
I think Stephanie, you do a fantastic job at coaching and understanding how to do research, how to pick your niches, uh, and understanding how YouTube works. You cover that fantastically well. I think the one thing that I came in this with, and maybe it's a little different than most people, was I had production experience. And if you do not, if you were not organized, uh, this is going to go south really quickly. It's easy to just randomly do stuff for 1 or 2 videos, right? But the whole point of this is to scale. You figure out what works, and then you quickly have to scale. You quickly have to change direction. You quickly have to be able to produce a lot of content. So I would suggest highly that people get organized quickly. Figure out your tracking documents. Like I was mentioning before in the beginning of this, I have a huge wide screen, and it's not because I want to watch video games, play video games, or watch a bunch of different stuff all at once. It's literally so I can do tracking of all of the episodes working at the same time. Because at one point, I'm going to have like 6 or 7 different episodes going at once for one channel in multiple different stages of production, whether that's writing, voiceover, finding the assets for it, whatever version number that I'm working on, where those notes are, what I need to do. Maybe I need to go back and redo some voiceover. Maybe I need to go back and actually find more specific photos or clips. There's so many different things that can go that can happen in the lifespan of every episode, that just staying consistent with it, understand organizing, tracking documents, and then notes, having that relationship with your editor where possibly they're overseas, possibly they don't speak the same language as you. So being able to have a visual key and to have live real time information back and forth, where I don't need to be on WhatsApp going back and forth, where I don't need to be emailing back and forth, to have a live living document that we can immediately look at and understand where everything is so key.
Yeah.
I always say these tracking documents are God. Like this is my God,
Yeah.
the tracking document. And if the system is always asking questions, then the system is breaking down. But if you have everything up and you ask, you can see it on the tracking document, the God document, then it's going to go much faster, much simpler. It's all about communication. So I can't stress enough putting together your own tracking documents and staying organized.
100%. And also the calls with the editors and with your team, it firstly boosts like the whole relationship. So like between you and the editor. So the editor will not only stay with you longer, but he will feel like he's a part of something, which will automatically make the whole, it will keep him motivated to always kind of do his best. So that's always massive. But yeah, awesome, man. One last question before we jump off. Is there something, like anything, even if there's nothing, you can let me know. But is there something that that you specifically like about, for example, working with me?
Yeah, man. It is. You always have really good insights, I would say. It's amazing that you've been doing this for so long and you're so young. You really do understand, even on the calls, the group calls, like people have a wide range of questions, and you immediately are like, oh yeah, I've already been through that. I've already done that. I've lived through that. And a very, very detailed niche down questions, like these, and then exactly, you've lived through it. So I think that's what really gives you a lot of credibility, is that you've created a lot of these channels, and you've seen the YouTube lifespan, the life cycle. Like sometimes it's the wild wild west out there where you can get monetized in like 2-3 videos. Sometimes you got to wait 45 days before it hits, and it's an ever changing landscape. But you seem to have lived multiple lives in the YouTube space to always give great feedback and help everybody along. So I really do appreciate that. Me coming in with that production experience, but not knowing YouTube, you figuring out production all on your own while learning YouTube is really amazing. And then you've succeeded so much that I do have my trust in you. Like, you are an expert in this. So I always rely on asking you questions, and you're always very accessible too. I have to say, I was very very happy with the fact that not only is it like the weekly calls that we can all ask questions, but you always say like, "Oh, just hit me up on WhatsApp," you know,
Yeah.
like that was so cool from that first video. I have no clue what I was doing, and it was actually working. And I just like send you like some questions or voice notes on WhatsApp, and then you like respond. And I was like, "Oh shit, that's great, awesome."
Yeah. I always try to respond as fast as possible.
Yeah,
Just makes your life easier, like especially for you guys, because you can kind of get the answers as fast as possible, and you can start implementing as fast as possible. So yeah. But yeah, man, thanks for the nice words. Thanks for coming on. I think it's gonna be a long one. So super cool. But I think you educated a lot as well, which is super cool. So everyone is probably gonna learn a lot from this call, which is amazing. And yeah, thanks so much. And we'll see. Maybe we'll do another call once we hit that 10K month mark. That would be cool. And yeah, maybe update what we changed, what we did. So yeah, let's go. Thanks so much. And we'll then see you on the normal weekly calls, right?
yes, definitely. Uh,
Awesome.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to see the progress, and also just I'm really amazed to see the other people in the group. Uh, where they're starting. A lot of people don't have the production experience, but through your guidance, they are getting views. The whole point is getting views. And you can see these people getting from 0 views to now 1,000 views, hitting their first 1,000 views. And you're like, that is so cool to be able to see these people in completely different lives. They have completely different backgrounds, yet they all seem to be seeing success with your teaching. So that's just
No,
a testament to you as well.
thank you, Van.